Welcome back to class. Today we are going to be learning about pyramids and how to find their surface area. So to start off, one important thing is to know that there are different kinds of pyramids, believe it or not, and each of them are named based off the base that they have. So this first one we see here is actually a square pyramid. Because of the square base that it has right down here. Our next one is called a rectangular pyramid. Because of the rectangular base that it has. And our last one is a triangular pyramid. And that is because the base of this pyramid has a triangle at the bottom. So pretty simple. Just remember that they are named after the base they have, and you shouldn't have an issue with it. We're going to do an example of finding the surface area of each of these. So our first one we're going to start with is the square pyramid. Now, just like the other surface areas, it's easiest to take apart each piece of the pyramid or the shape and find the area of each of them and then multiply it by how many there are. So we're going to start off by finding out how many triangles are just like this first example we have here. And if we noticed, it's asking for a base of 6 and a height of 10.5. And here we can see that this measurement is 6 and this measurement is 10.5. And one of the good things about noticing this is that since it's a square pyramid, each length of the base for all of those triangles is going to be 6. So each of them are also going to have the same height of 10.5 units. That means we're going to have 4 triangles that are just like this one. So our next one that we're going to figure out is how many squares are just like this one. Now, of course, this is a pyramid, so there should only be one shape on there that is other than a triangle. Unless it's a triangular pyramid, then all shapes are a triangle. So again, this is 6 by 6 units, and we can see that the base here is going to be 6 by 6. So there's only going to be one square just like that one. So now, of course, we can go straight ahead to finding the area of each piece. And this is a triangle, so if we think back to our area formulas, an area for a triangle is A equals base times height divided by 2, or A equals 1/2 base times height. They both mean the same thing, so don't worry about which one you use. We're going to stick with this one here and try it out. So we're going to do A equals, our base is going to be 6 units and our height is 10.5. And then we're going to divide that by 2. So we first are going to multiply the 6 by the 10.5, and when we do that, we're going to get a 63. And we haven't used that 2 yet, so we're going to keep it down here. So we now have to divide 63 by 2. And we end up with 31.5. Since we're looking for area, it's going to be units squared. So now our next one, we are going to be using the formula for area of a square, which is area equals base times height. Pretty simple. And our base and our height are the same since they are a square. So A is going to equal 6 times 6. And when we multiply those together, we're going to get 36 units squared. Now, like I said before, we have to take into account all the sides. So there are 4 triangles that look just like the one that we found. So we're going to have to multiply 31.5 by 4. And when we multiply that by 4, we end up with 126 units squared for the answer for this triangle here, or really all the triangles. And since there's only one square, we don't have to multiply that area of that square by anything, so we can leave it at 36 units squared. Now we can add them all up together to find the surface area of the entire square pyramid. So the surface area is going to be 126 units squared plus 36 units squared. And then we can go ahead and add 126 to 36 to get 162 units squared as our final answer. So it's not too different from all the other times we've found surface area. So it's just like the same thing, but this time instead of a prism, we're working with pyramids. So we're going to continue on to do the rectangular pyramids. This time, you can see we're going to have more faces. This time it's because unlike the square pyramid, the rectangular pyramid is going to have triangles with two different sized faces. So, as we can see here, our first triangle off to the side has a base of 12.5 units. And we can identify that here, and a height of 16 units, and we can see that one here as well. So there's this triangular face, and there are two just like it because the one right across to it is exactly the same. So there's two of these. Next, we have to find the triangular face that has a base of 4.5 units and 14 units. And we can find that 4.5 here and the 14 here. And that triangular face has a face that looks just like it all the way across from it. So there are going to be two faces as well that look just like that one. And finally, just like before, our base, there's only going to be one of them because all the other faces in a pyramid are triangles, so we don't have to worry too much about figuring out how many there are. So we're going to go ahead and start finding the areas of each of the faces. So again, area of a triangle is area base times height divided by 2, or area equals 1/2 base times height. Both work perfectly fine. So we're going to get area equals, we have a base of 12.5 and a height of 16. We're going to divide those by 2. So we're going to go ahead and multiply the top. So 12.5 times 16 is going to give us 200. And we have that denominator of 2 still. So we can go ahead and divide 200 by 2, and we're going to get 100 units squared. So just like before, we have two of these faces that look just like this one. So we're going to do 100 times 2 to get 200 units squared as the area for both triangular faces. Now we're going to move right along to the second triangular face. Again, area equals base times height divided by 2 is the formula we're going to use. So we're going to have the base of 4.5 and the height of 14. I'm going to divide those by 2. So we're going to start with the numerator. 4.5 times 14 is going to give us 63. I'm going to keep that denominator of 2 because we haven't touched it yet. We're going to use it to divide 63 by 2, and we get 31.5 units squared. And just like the other faces, there are two triangular faces. So 31.5 times 2 is going to give us 63 units squared as the area for both of those triangular faces. So now moving on, we have our rectangular face left. So we're going to use the area formula A equals base times height. So we're going to have A equals our base of 12.5 and our height of 4.5. And we can go ahead and multiply the two of those together to get 56.25 units squared. And because there's only one rectangular face that looks just like that one, we're not going to multiply by anything. And our last step is adding up all the areas together to find the entire surface area. So our surface area is going to be 200 plus 63 plus 56.25. So we can go ahead and add those up. In total, this is going to give us 319.25 units squared as our entire surface area for this rectangular pyramid. So this last one, I want y'all to go ahead and try yourself. This one is a triangular pyramid. So the base of this pyramid is a triangle. And I want you all to try this one out, figure out, see if you can do this by yourself using a piece of paper and a pencil, and hopefully the same one that you've been using for all your other notes. So go ahead, pause this video, and try this one out. So if you've hit play, I'm assuming you've already found your answer and now you're ready to check. So go ahead and follow along step by step and see what you've done compared to what we are doing here. So the first step is to find out how many faces are just like the triangles to the right. So we see this first one has a base of 6 and a height of 5.2. And if we look to our pyramid, we can see the base of 6 is on all sides. But the main difference is that this middle or base height is 5.2. So our base is this first one we're looking at. And there's only one triangle that looks just like this one. Now, if we look at the other triangle, we see that it also has a base of 6, which we saw on all sides of the triangle base. We see that it has a height of 8.3. And we can see that height here, 8.3. So we know that the height of our triangle tells us that the triangular faces are the 3 sides to this triangle. So there are 3 triangles here. So now we can go ahead and find the area of each face. So our base is a triangle, so we're going to do base times height divided by 2, or 1/2 base times height. Both of those work. So our base is 6 units and our height is 5.2 units. And now we have to divide those by 2. So we can go ahead and multiply 6 by 5.2. And we do that, we get 31.2. We can divide that by 2 to get 15.6 units squared. And again, there's only one triangular base that looks just like this one. So we don't have to multiply 15.6 by anything. That is our area for this one face. So now we're going to go to the next one. Area equals base times height divided by 2, or 1/2 times base times height. And our base is 6 units and our height is 8.3 units. We divide those by 2. So we can multiply 6 times 8.3, and we get 49.8 units. And we divide that by 2. And when we divide it, we get 24.9 units squared. And now there are 3 triangular faces that look just like this one. So we want to multiply 24.9 times 3. And when we do that, we get 74.7 units squared. So now we can go ahead and add them all up to find the total surface area of this pyramid. So the surface area is going to be 15.6 plus 74.7. And we can go ahead and add those 2 numbers up. And we're going to get 90.3 units squared as our total surface area for this triangular pyramid. So if you got that wrong, go ahead and look over where you might need some extra help and let us know. And if you got it correct, that's great. I hope that all of you are at home finding practice problems on IXL, on the ones that your teachers have assigned you, or just in general, looking them up on your own. But I will see y'all next time when we cover some more math. Bye!